Hello guys, and welcome to another one of my Fortnite videos. In this video here, we're going to be looking at completing the Survive the Storm 77 days in a few different ways. The main thing here is going to be doing it the cheesy, almost cheaty, kind of easy way, and I've been really lucky to be able to complete the Survive the Storm with these guys here, and they have been doing their prep work. As you can see here, just a little sample of what they have been preparing for the Survive the Storm, and that is of course because they are slightly underpowered. They are 50 and below without the shared bonus for playing as a team, but they really wanted to complete the Survive the Storm 77, and of course I really want to be helping out with that. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about the Survive the Storm, can I help you guys complete it, and I absolutely love playing it. And this video here is going to cover a few of the ways that it can be done. So there we have the team ready to rumble. The first thing that I'm going to be digging into is making like a default base that you can expand upon if you have a constructor such as the power base or mega base Kyle that can place down the base structure that will like enhance and improve the areas around it, making them regenerate when they take damage and reflect damage back upon things that hit it in melee. First things first, you make a box around it. You can choose to make a floor, you can also choose not to do that, and then you pretty much do the pyramid kind of thing. We had a really horrible positioning of our generator at this map here, so I kind of had to do it a little differently than what I wanted to, but the base concept is build a box around the generator. What I like to do is to put these traps here on it so that just in case something comes through this crazy defense, it's going to be pushed back. So that is like the base concept. You make a metal box, you make a metal pyramid. This already now gives you 2 layers of defense, and you have some pushing back. You're going to make it 2 levels to start with because the generator is going to be upgraded, making it taller. So if you make it only 1 level tall, you're gonna have to get some of your buildings destroyed. The next thing is to make some kind of lobber defense. You can do this casually, you can go all in crazy pants like I like to do, because you can render these lobbers completely out of business by just putting enough roofing in the map, and I generally like to do that because lobbers are they're always the killers. Well, a great deal of the time, so I just go completely crazy pants with this because resources are not really a problem. You can choose to add in like a ceiling if you want to. You don't really need it, but you can do so if you want to have another layer of backup traps. This here is one of the things that you can do that I consider pretty important, is that you make these hold walls around your pyramid, and there is a good reason for that. If you have things such as the pitchers and the lobbers, they are actually going to be attacking through the windows, while the melee ones are going to be attacking the outer wall. This means that you split the damage from the melee monsters and the pitchers between 2 different walls, giving your base a good chance to regenerate. And once again, you can add another section of walls around that, or floors that come walls, if you want to go even more silly crazy. So that type of base in itself is like a fortress that can pretty much win the game. What I just did here was to set up an anchor for a roof far away from where the monsters spawn. You can see the tentacles here, and what I'm doing now is just to build a roof right above them. The reason for that is when monsters spawn, everything on the ground, on the floors around the area is going to be exploded by lightning, but nothing happens to the roof, and this is the tricky part. Find the spawns, gank them with traps. Just go crazy pants all over your map if you can, if you have the resources for it. Find the areas where the monsters are going to be spawning in between the night and put up traps. Make sure that the roof you have, the ceiling you have above the spawns, that this area is anchored to something else, because you need something to touch the ceiling that won't explode and go away, so that the entire roof area just won't go kapoof and you're gonna lose all your defense and all your traps. Below the ceiling you can choose to put in things such as wall launchers or like dots to damage or delay the mobs even further, send them backwards towards the traps to take more damage, to split up the fast runners and the slow ones. You can also put freezing traps down here if you want it. Like your personal kind of playstyle thing and what type of traps you have at your disposal. I like using these, they're super cheap to craft and they can push back even the most crazy pants things. The thing you need to remember when you're making something such as this is that you need to stay away. Let the traps do their work. The entire concept is to make this happen. These that could also be propane flasks are gonna be all over the floor because your traps are gonna be taking out everything. If you aggro one of the Santas or the propane husks, they're gonna get angry, they're gonna do this, they're gonna explode, and what is gonna be happening is that you're gonna be having a chain reaction of exploding presents or propane tanks, and they're gonna destroy your entire base, and this is of course what you want to avoid. So stay away from there, make sure that you have enough firepower in your traps to take out the Santas or the propane husks, so they just drop down their bombs without having them go kaboom. Do not shoot anything in there that goes area of effect. Do not shoot on any of the presents or propane flasks on the ground. Make a defense that has enough firepower to make sure these things continue to die, and then you can have a sip of coffee up in your base, just be happy, relax, and win the game. It's actually that easy if you choose to take that approach, but it does take some prep time in terms of making traps. So guys, that was pretty much like a small insight into how you can win the Survive the Storm pretty easily if you have the trap capacity. Also how you can build a base for your power base Kyle or mega base Kyle if you have one of those. Of course the trap, the base is very strong even if you don't have these, but I do feel playing something such as Survive the Storm is really best done with either at least one high level player or a really good constructor. So yeah, thanks to the players Samoth DC, North, Aitek and Bach once again for playing with me here in the Survive the Storm. Those of you out there that want to be completing it, hit me up in game. I may or may not have the time to do it. Perhaps we need to plan in advance when it's a good time for me and you to do it, and of course stash up on materials, weapons, whatever you're gonna be needing so that we can just go crazy pants whenever it is time to go in there and survive the storm. Ending this video here is of course just gonna be our rewards, because obviously I have the Kyle for completing the mission route, like the event rewards, but we're getting goodies for completing the 70 power 7 day Survive the Storm. Nonetheless, we're getting loads of schematics, transform, and an epic survivor. We're gonna be getting of course a single mini boss. We had 2 in there, you only get 1, and the mission alert rewards 1.5 llama worth of goodies. So always a really cool thing. Anyway guys, that was what I had to share in this video here. A casual, easy, almost cheaty way to complete Survive the Storm that I am pretty hyped about, and it is super fun to play. As always guys, thank you very much for watching.